What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Chris and Ralph Productions. As always, I am Chris, and today I have a special episode for you, and that is going to be a interview of sorts with a fellow YouTuber, FranksBS. So, what I wanted to do for this is since this channel is mainly about movies and TV and things that we just love consuming on streaming and everything, I just wanted to reach out to someone else and see how movies affected them, some of their favorite, guilty pleasure movies or things like that. But yeah, guys, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and bring in Frank. What's up, Frank?
What is up, dude? Sorry, I had to hit my mic there. My cat's in the background using the bathroom, so that's fun. I can
I
hear him.
respect
He's
it.
like,
I respect it.
what's up, everyone? How you been? How you doing, man? You doing good?
Yes, I'm doing good. New
Awesome.
year, we're about a month into it, and it still feels like January 1st. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, dude. Seriously, I'm. Yeah, time's flying by, and at the same token, standing very still. So yeah,
I hear
hundred
you.
percent. So yeah,
So Frank,
yeah,
whenever we decided to do this video, I got super excited because since I've been on your channel, it's always been like, hey Chris, what are movies that you like and all that for
yeah.
my top five. So what has film and movies and television, like what impact has that had on your life, over the years?
Well, I think as a child of the well, I was born in '83, but technically late '80s, early '90s, TV was everything. Because we didn't have really internet, we didn't really have computers yet or any of that. Video games, we had video games, but limited obviously to like Nintendo and Sega and stuff. So I think TV and movies were a huge part of just growing up. It shaped the culture. Everything from God, just what you were into to race relations. It's just like literally
Yeah.
shaped everything and how you saw things. So I think it's a huge thing. I think obviously nowadays it's changed a lot for kids. YouTube and Instagram and all that. And everything's a short TikTok. Everything's a short, quick little thing.
Short
Um,
attention spans.
yeah, it's really hard to get kids to watch movies, sit down and actually
Yeah.
watch a movie. But I think for, the past generation, especially like cartoons and stuff, I mean, it was a huge part just growing up. I mean, it literally bled into everything. I mean, from what we ate to what we wear, just everything, growing up. So yeah, it's a huge part of it, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially like you mentioned, like in the early 90s, there was just this boom of like pulp type, because obviously there was Pulp Fiction, there was Tarantino,
Yeah.
and then that led to more, and then obviously like at the same time, the way the music was going in the 90s, things
Yeah.
just got a little edgier.
Oh,
Things
yeah,
got
by
a
far.
little more, the envelope was being pushed, so
Yeah.
you started to have animation that was a little more adult,
Yeah.
and then obviously you just bled and just kept going and just
Well,
evolved over
and
time.
also too, honestly, I think obviously in the '80s, we saw a lot of like teen type movies, but the '90s, I feel like the teen type stuff really took over. Where
Yeah,
even the like the horror movies like Scream and stuff. They were more teen oriented
yeah.
versus just like I don't know. It's just something different about it. Clueless, like these different kind of movies that came out. It kind of changed everything. And plus, I think kids my age at the time had more money, to spend. It was just a different generation coming up. So I think it was a lot of stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and then going into the new millennium, I think just culturally people feel like they had to evolve because we're in the 2000s now, and
Yeah.
it just kind of just went from there. All
Yeah.
right. So, first thing I wanted to get into is, like you mentioned, since movies is just a part of American culture and it's evolved over time. So what are some of your comfort movies or just movies that you've seen just countless times,
Uh,
regardless of it's being critically acclaimed or whether it's just,
right.
you know, cult classic or no one has ever
Right.
seen it? What's something that you like? I've seen this movie
Oh
so
God.
many
Well,
times.
obviously, A Christmas Story. I know we talked about that on my
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah,
so that's
back in
I've seen
December.
that like a
Yeah,
million times. But again, I think it's like there's two types of movies, right? There's like the movies that are seasonal that you watch every year. Just
yeah,
because it's
definitely.
Christmas time, so you watch these movies. But then like for example, if I'm watching TV or something, when I actually watch TV, not streaming, if for some reason I turn on like Goodfellas, I just stop and watch it. Like no matter where it is in the movie, I'll just stop and kind of watch that from there and then out. but I'll never turn it on. It's weird. It's like I will never put on Goodfellas from like the beginning and watch it,
Yeah.
but I'll sit there and watch it from then on out wherever it is. Breakfast Club is another one.
Oh,
God, I
yes.
mean, yeah, I love that one. Goonies, Lost Boys. I mean, these are all like movies that, like, again, I won't necessarily go and put on, but like I'll stop and watch. But Lord of the Rings, I love Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge fan of the whole movie. All three of the movies. And well, the three main movies. Obviously, there's other movies attached to
The
the
Hobbits and all
series.
that.
Yeah, yeah, but the
Yeah.
three main ones, those were huge for me growing up. I watched those a lot, and then but really, yeah, a lot of just weird, like weird sci-fi movies I'll put on and just kind of watch like newer sci-fi movies. Adventures in Babysitting. That's another one I'll watch a lot. Funny Farm. That's one with Chevy Chase, which is hilarious. Again, that's
Never
one
seen
I'll.
that one.
Oh God, it's so good, dude. Like Chevy Chase. He's mostly obviously known for the vacation movies, and then
Yeah.
he did another movie franchise called Fletch. But there's in between those, there's this movie called Funny Farm, and it's funny, dude. It's hilarious. So that's when I'll just put on. I'll just watch it and kind of
Okay.
just I get into that. Just I'll put it on from top and just sit there and laugh about it, whatever. There's another one too. I can't think of the name right now. It's slipping me with Tom Hanks, and he's oh God, what was it? He buys a house and he's like trying to remodel the house or something. And there's like this scene. Oh, it's the Money Pit, and that's
Oh,
another
okay.
hilarious
Okay,
dude.
yeah.
He's like, I love. He's like stuck in the floor, and he's like there for like he's there for like all day, and he's just kind of going crazy. Those are hilarious movies, and I'll sit there
Tom
and
Hanks
watch
is a
those.
great like, very great comedic actor.
Yeah, well,
For
yeah,
how
people forget,
yeah.
because it's like in the '90s, all of a sudden you had a Philadelphia came out, and everyone's like, "Oh man, he's all serious," and it's like they gave him AIDS, and then they turn around and they gave him like lame legs and kind of an accent, and people forget like, oh, like this guy's like a funny actor. He did
Yeah.
Joan Volcano, he did The Bachelor Party, obviously Money Pit. I mean, these were hilarious movies. Big, these are good movies, man. So but again, those are things I'll sit there and watch. They Live. That's another one. They Live. It's a kind of a sci-fi horror movie with Roddy Piper, where he has the glasses,
Oh my
and
gosh, Roddy Piper, love
yeah, and
him.
he
Rest
he
in
thinks
peace.
he like sees alien, or not even aliens. They're like these. Yeah, they're aliens. Like I said, like they're kind of like running the world. And there's like that's a great movie. If people have not seen that movie, you got to watch it. It's very representative too of today and kind of what's going on. But
Okay.
yeah, no, those are and another one would be the God, another one I watch a lot is Back to the Future. Like those,
Back
you
to
can
the
turn those
Future
on.
Back to the Future is, I think, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, dude. Like seriously, like, and again, what's cool about those movies is if they happen to be on like an AMC or something at the time, like they'll
Yeah.
tell them to play all three of them in a row.
Yeah.
Like they never really just play one, So I'll sit there
Yeah,
and
like,
watch
they're a
those.
package, you gotta watch them
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I
Yeah.
like those a lot. So yeah, but those are like movies I tend to like sit there and just kind of like if they're on, I'll just watch no matter what,
Okay.
kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah, but I love them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, it's like we just have those films that we just attach ourselves to regardless of it being popular or not.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's
yeah.
tons, but I think a lot of people, I think again, I think it's growing up, late '80s, early '90s. It was like that thing, like I said, where it's just like the movies are that, like, dude, like, even like Indiana Jones. Like again, these are like huge
Yeah,
franchises that people buy into and they just love, and it's hard
definitely.
not to watch them. Yeah.
So in the early 90s, mid 90s is whenever you were, like, really, really growing up.
Yeah.
So, I have a question. This is just off the rip.
Yeah.
How big was Jurassic Park at that time?
Oh, it was huge, dude. It was huge. I mean, it was like, you got to remember, like, I mean, I guess, like, what was it? Like, the there were CGI stuff and things like that, but this was like a different level. You know what I mean? This was like I
Yeah.
remember sitting in the theater and I couldn't tell you what movie I was watching, but I remember sitting there watching the preview for Jurassic Park in theater. And when they do that and you see the
Yes.
water
The
and this
water,
fucking
yeah.
this T-Rex just kind of like, "Yeah," and you're sitting there as a kid, you're just like, what the hell is happening? Because it looks so real, and I know some of it was
Yeah.
practical effects, but I'm telling you, man, it blew when that scene where he like grabs her head and turns and they look and they see like
Yes.
Brachiosaurus and all
Yes.
that. I mean, dude, there was nothing like that. I mean, this was like a whole nother level of I don't even know. Like and I think for people obviously older than me too, I'm sure they were like, "What the hell is happening here?" I mean,
Yeah,
this was a
definitely.
whole, you
Cutting
know,
edge.
oh yeah, dude, by far, dude. Yeah, again, it was quite over the top, and it was very, very big. I mean, let's put it this way: it was so big that it spawned, how many movies afterwards? Like you think about, it, there was three.
Probably too many.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was three actual movies, and then you had like the Chris Pratt era.
Chris
You
Pratt
had a
era.
whole, yeah. So it was like, again though, it was. I mean, yeah, it was
Yeah.
really, really huge. Yeah.
So they're actually developing a new Jurassic World movie. It was announced the other
Oh
day by
boy.
Universal, but th- I think this one's actually going to be good compared to the last handful
Yeah.
because the original writer of the first Jurassic Park is coming back for this one.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
He has not written any of them, I think, since the second one. So we'll see how
Damn.
that turns out. So speaking of like Jurassic Park and just movies that I think we're just defining to see in theaters, my next question for you is
Yeah.
what are some of your favorite in theater experiences? Like where you
Oh
just feel
man.
like you were just you saw that on screen and your jaw dropped. Like you just could
Okay,
not.
honestly, like going backwards, probably I don't remember years or anything, but
Oh yeah,
dude,
definitely. Uh-huh.
Avatar, like Avatar in
Oh,
theater
okay.
with
Yeah.
with the goggles on, watching it in 3D blew my mind, dude. I was so back by that. I mean, it was just like that was the thing. I remember sitting there being like, this is like I was thinking in my head, I'm like, this is where video games are gonna go. Thinking that like as a kid watching it, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. That by far was amazing. I mean, yeah, Jurassic Park was another one. Actually, I don't really like the movie per se, but I did see Titanic in theaters. That was epic. Like just the scale of seeing it.
Yeah, same here. The story's fine. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I'm not huge on that, but
but
because honestly, I'm
to
not.
see that, yeah.
Yeah, the actual like the cinematography and the shots and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, that was cool. So I'm not huge on movies about like true story events. I always joke around about it because you'll be like,
Oh,
well,
yeah, yeah.
I know how it ends. I don't need to know. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, the Titanic. Oh, it sinks. Wow, big whoop. I know. But yeah, but the look of it was just amazing. God, some other ones too. Scream, I saw that in theaters. That was just fun. I remember sitting there kind of thinking in my head, this is different. It's a
Yeah.
different type of horror movie. I didn't know why at the time. I just knew it was something different. That was fun. God, what else? I remember one time I saw, oh God, this is so odd. It was early 90s, and I was with my was it? I think it was like with my step grandma at the time or something like that. This is really a long time ago. And I saw Robin Hood Men in Tights, and we saw it in theaters, and that was a really weird kind of just a thing. I know I've never really seen a movie like that before in theaters. That was fun. That was fun. Oh, I saw Beavis and Butthead Do America in theaters when I
Oh
was
my
young.
gosh.
That was another one where you're just like, this is crazy, dude. Like, what is happening?
This is
Yeah,
cutting
like
edge.
yeah, no, kind of. You're like, this is well, the idea of seeing a cartoon movie that wasn't
Yeah.
like it wasn't like Care Bears or something. It's like an actual like
Yeah.
movie. That
Now
was
it's a
that
Care
was cool.
Bears.
Yeah, right. Well, I saw that too in theaters, but I was also very young. But yeah, it was really cool, man. Like I really enjoyed that. Oh God, some of I mean, God, there was just so many cool, and especially like I said in the mid '90s, like '94 and up, there were so many great, like Independence Day, like in
Yeah,
theaters.
Independence Day, I obviously, like, I missed that in theaters, but I've
Yeah,
heard many people online say that they Independence Day was just impeccable in theaters.
yeah. Well, dude, the thing is you got to remember, I mean, before streaming and all this crap, like everything was meant for the theater. So
Yeah,
everything was meant to
definitely.
be big and huge, and you see all this
Yeah.
movement and all this crazy stuff. And I mean, it really does make a difference to be in a theater seeing that. I mean, it really,
Yeah.
honest to God, does. It changes kind of how you view the movies, and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, that like I said, I've seen a lot of good stuff. I mean, I feel like I was lucky to like be young when I was to get a chance to see all these kind of like I guess now what are classic movies, but in theaters, just kind of there, kind of getting to see them and stuff. I mean, even something
Yeah.
is like lame. Like for me, it's lame, but like something is like lame as like the movie like Gettysburg or something. It's still like in theaters. it's cool to see. You're like, this is, the war scenes and stuff. You're like, this
Yeah,
is
the war
massive,
scenes.
dude. Yeah, but like, like you said, it's just nowadays things are a lot less that. I don't know. It's a lot less like crazy big,
Yeah.
huge.
And if it is, it's like once a year. So like in the 80s, there was like this boom of like blockbusters. Like
Oh yeah.
blockbusters was just like because I think Back to the Future really kicked it off. And
Yeah.
then it sort of just went from there and everything needed to be grand. And then you had Steven Spielberg, obviously with Jaws in the late 70s. And it
Oh
just
yeah,
kind of
dude.
just went from there.
That
Everything
dude
was
just did
just
everything. Yeah.
yeah, Steven Spielberg, yeah, he's a killer.
Yeah.
Um, and like nowadays, I feel like for an example, so we're in 2024.
Mhm.
The biggest movie experience I've had in theaters was Endgame, and that
Okay,
was in
yeah. I saw
2019.
that in theaters. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty epic. I'll give it that.
And that was, like, 5 years ago. Obviously, like, No
Yeah.
Way Home was fun.
God, yeah, that's
It's
wow.
superhero movies, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just like, okay, probably the grandest movie I saw that wasn't genre related
Mhm.
was I would probably say Oppenheimer. When I saw
Oh, okay.
Oppenheimer last year in theaters,
Yeah.
that was
I can see that being
it
pretty
wasn't like
big
a
looking.
spectacle, like giant
Yeah.
effects and stuff, but it was just an amazing cast, and to see that those performances actually in theater, I think it was incredible. So you're right, it's very scarce now. It's not
Oh,
as
yeah.
common to have
Yeah.
blockbuster movies because everything's meant for streaming. Like
Yeah.
Aquaman came out December 22nd, and
Yeah,
it's
wow.
January 27th, and it's been on streaming for, the last few days. So it
Seriously?
has
Oh, I
the
didn't realize it was already out. Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
there's movies
That's
like
quick, man. Wow.
the window is 30 days or less now,
Yeah,
basically,
that's horrible.
and yeah, and, it is
God.
what it is. It's the age of streaming.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's kinda sad though, man, because it's just
yeah,
like, you don't get the chance to, like I mean, you're right, like, I did I saw Endgame, I saw, Civil War, I saw that in theaters.
yeah,
I saw a lot of the Marvel stuff in theaters because again, growing up, that was cool, it's like, oh, Captain America, Iron Man, that was cool. But, even honestly, even, like, the Marvel stuff's starting to get a little played out where I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, "Come on,
yeah,
guys, like, what are we doing here?" I mean, I don't know. I'm still waiting for them to do something more, maybe like X-Men or something, kind of like now they're getting into this like, the Marvels and all this stuff and and
yeah,
there's so many like TV shows and all those things, which I will say Loki was a great TV show, but besides that, so it's like you start to see all this stuff and it's like, dude, you're getting played out and it's like they need and the other thing too is they keep remaking stuff and that's another
yeah,
played out thing. I'm like, dude, what is with this? Like, just give me something new, like
original.
yeah, like honestly, I thought a movie okay, I didn't think it was like the best movie in the world, but it had some like it had some things that reminded me of other movies that I thought would have been cool was Uncharted, where I
Yeah,
didn't think it was like
Uncharted,
the
yeah,
I didn't think it was like the best movie in the world, but it did have some Indiana Jones to it. It did have some like was it Da Vinci Code to it. Like so I kind of dug that and I thought that was cool. So like that if they keep going with those, that'd be kind of fun.
mhm,
It's something a little different. Um, but yeah, just give me something new, man. Like I need like a new storyline. Or if you do, like give me an actual like storyline, not just like some BS wrapped in a package. Like here you go. That's another problem they keep doing, and I get
yeah.
really annoyed with.
Like, for this year, for 2024, there is gonna be a handful of sequels that are gonna be blockbusters, but they're sequels, like the Planet of the Apes movies or,
Mm.
like, the Mad Max Furiosa. Those are, like, my number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, those are cool
Godzilla
though. Those are good movies.
Godzilla
Yeah.
and Kong, but those aren't, like, original stories, they're continuations.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, this year's gonna be scarce when it comes to original stories, but, we'll see. You never know.
Yeah. You
Something
never
I'm
know,
sure will
man.
surprise us.
Yeah, you never know how what they're gonna, you never know. Here's the thing: down the road, you never know what could happen. But I'm getting worried because as I get older now, like I was saying, I'm 41, so I'm getting worried that like I will eventually be stuck with the idea of a remake of like Back to the Future, or some crazy crap where I'm just saying because I think about like my grandpa, right, and he's passed now and all that, but there had to be, they were remaking some of those movies that we didn't realize were remakes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there's a younger generation who'd be like, "Oh, I've never heard of this movie," and they're like, "What are you talking about right now?" I'll be like 70, and it'll happen. I'll be like, "What the f is happening right now? Like, what is this?" Like, we'll see. I don't know. Or God forbid they remake like Iron Man or something, and you're like, "What is happening? This is
Oh
crap."
gosh.
Imagine someone else besides. It's weird to think someone else playing a character.
Yeah,
Then
definitely.
it's hard at a point to think like that. I mean, God, that's one thing that scares me about movies is when you start to see it and you're just like, and then let's say you watch it and you're like, wow, that was crap. I didn't like it without the guy being the guy or the woman being the character. That worries me about watching remakes of movies.
Yeah,
I tend not to.
Michael J. Fox will forever be Marty McFly.
Yeah, honestly, I think what's his face? The new Spider-Man.
Tom
I think
Holland.
I could
Tom
see
Holland
him
would
do.
be a
I
pretty
could
decent
see
Marty
him doing
McFly.
it, right? But it's because he
Michael J.
looks like
Fox.
Michael J. Fox. So it's like that's why that works for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Teen Wolf, awesome movie. So
Yes, Teen Wolf is a great movie.
both of them actually.
He filmed Back to the Future and Teen Wolf literally the same days.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Well, both of them actually are pretty good. Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2, which is obviously with Jason Bateman. But still a good movie. I like both of those. Oh, did you see that thing, dude? I just saw this the other day. They were showing you might know this already, but they were showing how the Back to the Future date was the same date as the Goonies went on their adventure. I didn't know that. I just saw it on
Yeah.
Instagram. I was like,
Yeah, I
that's
saw that.
amazing. Oh my god. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, so
So speaking of like you mentioned, Back to the Future was something that whenever you saw growing up, it was just it was amazing. So
mhm,
my next question is I guess it sort of plays into my last one of like your favorite movie
mhm,
theater experience because when you go to the theaters, it's your first time seeing that movie.
yeah.
What are a couple of movies that you wish you can just watch for the first time today? Like you just wipe your mind of that experience and just like I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna re-experience this for the first time.
Well, I honestly, I a lot of them would be probably the movies I couldn't see. So like stuff from the '80s would probably be what I would really want to go back and be able to see. Like Breakfast Club would be cool to actually see like new, like not
Yeah.
knowing, just kind of like wow, in the theater, like this is different. God, man, anything from like John Hughes, any of his stuff, I would be cool
John
to go. And
Hughes, yeah.
I'd be awesome to just sit back and watch like a bunch of stuff, like Uncle Buck, all that stuff. It'd be different because I feel like it's a different movie going experience than now because everything now is like big. It has to be big and it has to be like Marvel or DC or action based to get in the theaters essentially.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously Oppenheimer, but to be fair, I mean they did have the world's excuse me, world's largest explosion. So that's pretty big.
Yes.
And then of course Barbie, where you just want to hang yourself. But which I did end up watching. I watched it on HBO.
Did you
But
like it? Was you didn't like it?
oh man, it was like, you know what it was? One, I cannot really I have a hard time enjoying a musical. So anything where they start singing, I'm like, God
Okay.
damn it. Like
Yeah.
anything of that, I'm like, come on, man. And then yeah, and I don't know, dude. I mean, I just wanted to like punch Ken in the face, like all of them, like every Ken. Like it wasn't just Ken. It was like all of them. Yeah, it was. I mean, the concept was kind of fun. I thought the idea was cool. It was obviously a jokey kind of movie, but
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good, man. But yeah, no, but everything, like I said, man, like I need the John Hughes stuff. God, man, I don't. There's a lot of horror movies I wish I could go back and see. Like oh god, anything from like Bruce Campbell or god, any of the Jason movies, like the early ones, like the first ones. Nightmare
Yeah,
on Elm
yeah.
Street would have been cool to see in
Nightmare
theaters.
on Elm Street is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Yeah,
I
dude,
love
that
that
would have been
movie.
really cool to sit there and watch that in theater and kind of get that jump scare kind of vibe going. God, man, Revenge of the Nerds. I wish I could have seen that. I saw when I was really young on TV. Yeah, that would have been cool. Which there's a lot of questionable activity in that movie. But when you look back on it, you're like, oh, it's so funny. Now you think about it, you're like, there's a lot of like questionable. Like I think people were like harmed. Like it's like you
Yeah.
can't do any of like peeping tom scenes. There's some
Cancel
questionable.
culture would have had a field day with
Yeah,
that
oh yeah, there's
movie.
some felonies going on in there. God, I'm looking through. I actually saved a few movies here to kind of like because I was thinking about the questions. I'm like, um, God, dude, there's so many. Actually, I think I might have seen this in theaters. Bill and Ted, Excellent Adventure.
Okay.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I did see that in the theaters, but I'd like to go back and see that again. I'd like to watch all of them again. Those
That's a
are those
fun
were
oh,
fun.
the Bill and Ted series is really super fun.
Yeah, no,
Not
that was fun.
serious at all.
No, and it's fun though. It's well put together. Oh, you know what? Fast Times at Richmond High. I love that movie, dude. That scene where she comes up and the cars are playing and like, oh my god, yeah, I would love to be able to see that for the first time
Yeah.
in theaters. That'd be great. But real quick, going back to what we were talking about, like the theater experience thing, something that I loved about the theaters wasn't so much even the movies. It was when you go there, and obviously this is back in the day, you'd go in there and yeah, obviously the smell of the popcorn, and all that, but there was always like the video games there and stuff. And you could go
Yeah,
play
the
like,
arcade,
yeah,
yeah.
dude, you get to like play, and I'll never forget sitting there and playing like Street Fighter, and then going to see Street Fighter the movie, like
It's
which
badass.
which is not. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest movie, obviously, but
Ah, it's still
it wasn't
fun.
as yeah, yeah, it was still good, man. It wasn't as good as the Mortal Kombat movie, not the new one, the old one. That was questionable as well, but yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, yeah, like that whole thing, and plus too, when I was younger, man, it was like we'd all just go to the theater, like we'd be like 13, 12, whatever, and there was a theater across the way. So we would go through a field and there was a mall there. And we would just go to the theater there and we'd all hang out and see movies
Yeah,
and stuff. And it was like reasonably priced. It wasn't crazy, and get into like, mischief and stuff. And I used to love that, man. So that in itself was super cool just to be able to experience that and do that kind of stuff. So I think that's what's missing nowadays for kids. Like they don't get to really do that. I mean, the closest I think my daughter had was like I dropped her off at that FNAF movie, and
oh, yeah.
she had some friends there and stuff. So it's like, but they don't get to do that like all the time. Like I feel like when I was younger, it was like all the time. It was like a new movie hitting like every week
Yes.
or two.
Every
Yeah,
week or 2, yeah, there was just something like an event, like, "Hey, guys, you
yeah,
wanna go let's all group up at the Fri on Friday, let's go watch this and get some
yeah,
pizza."
man. It's like not like that
FNAF was,
anymore.
like, once a year was, like, FNAF because that's very, like, a huge following and things like that, so,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
huge. No, people are like really oddly into that. I mean, like I
Yeah,
I tried.
same.
I'm
I
like I
saw I
can't
saw the film, everything I know about the culture, about, like, the world
about the
is
good
from that
stuff.
movie. It
Yeah,
really is a
no.
culture,
Well,
yeah.
no, it is though, and like, dude, I will say this: it was cool seeing like, I dropped her off, and she had her friends waiting for her. But then you see these other people, like, they're like kind of like pseudo dressed up for it and stuff, and so it's kind of cool. It reminded me of like maybe like the Marvel movies or like Lord of the Rings or something. People showing up like pseudo dressed in their like gear, but at the same time, you're kind of like, I think it's that thing, I try to be sensitive to the fact that I'm not part of that community, like that's
Yeah.
how I look at it. Like, because for me, I'm looking at them like, God, look at these stupid dorks. And I'm over there like wearing like,
Nerds.
yeah, I'm like nerd. And I'm sitting there wearing like my freaking Hobbit, my Hobbit feet. Like I like my legless ears. Yeah. Like,
Walking with the
thou shall
staff.
not pass. Yeah.
Nerds.
Seriously, dude, it's so bad. Yeah, no, it's kind of funny though because you think about it. It's like it really has become like, what kind of nerd are you? And that's
Yes.
yeah, but yeah, man. Like I said, but there's a bunch of movies I wish I could go back and see.
Yeah.
But but again, I feel like the more epic big movies, like, and I mean, when I mean big, I guess I'm referring more to like the CGI type era because that's when things got
Mhm.
big. I was
Yeah.
lucky enough to kind of be there as a kid and get to see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
didn't
Yeah.
really have to. So really, the stuff I'm thinking of is like I said, it's the '80s stuff and just kind of being like maybe seeing like ET in theaters would be cool.
Yeah.
Goonies, that'd be cool to go back and actually get a chance to see and not have to
First time I
like
saw
know what's
Goonies,
going to
love that
happen.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good movie, yeah. But so yeah, that'd be cool to be able to do and be able to see. Yeah, man, I don't know. There's just so many damn awesome movies. That's the problem. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's hard to pick one. It's hard to pick anything then to go back and think about it.
You mentioned John Hughes, and I know John Hughes, he's synonymous with, Chicago, with the
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller, with,
Oh yeah.
Breakfast Club, everything being filmed in the Chicago area, and I
Yep.
know that's west where you're at, in Chicago
Yep.
area in
Yeah.
Chicago. So, what are some movies that just remind you of home or where you
Oh
grew
God.
up?
Well, dude, I mean, you got Home Alone. Obviously, that's filmed. That was right near me.
Yeah.
Got obviously it's not filmed in Chicago, but or in the area, but it's supposed to technically be the Halloween movies. Those
Oh,
are supposed
yeah,
to be in.
yeah.
It's funny when you watch those too because you could clearly tell it's California. Like if you
Yes,
actually pay
Times Square.
attention, and they have like a bunch of fake leaves kind of like scattered about, but everything else is green.
They have, like,
And then
Spanish style tiling, like,
yeah, no,
yeah,
everything's
that's
yeah,
a
you're like, "What the hell?" Yeah, what's it? Fucking, come on, all the vacation movies, like Christmas or not,
Mhm.
Christmas Vacation especially. That's one I always think about because again, filmed in the suburbs of Chicago. Um, one that wasn't filmed in Chicago, but I think about it because it was filmed in the area, but it takes place in another area, is Groundhog Day. So Groundhog
Okay,
Day was actually filmed in oh dude, it's slipping my mind right now. It's a couple suburbs over from me, was where
okay.
it was actually filmed. Obviously, it takes place in like what is that? Pexitani or whatever they did it, where it's supposed to be in the movie. But oh, it's gonna bother me where it was filmed actually right now. Woodstock. I think it was filmed in Woodstock, Illinois. Is where
Oh,
it was
okay.
filmed at. Yeah, and it's really cool. Did you go there? The town square is exactly set up the
Has, like,
same way.
the Groundhog Town Square? Okay.
Yeah, it's all there, and also the restaurant that he comes out of all the time and stuff
Oh,
with the big
yes,
hole he
yeah,
steps in. That's all
yeah.
there. Another one would be Uncle Buck. That's another great one. Dude takes place in Chicago. He goes to the
Never seen that
suburbs.
one, never seen that
Oh,
one.
dude, it's great, dude. Macaulay Culkin's in it. John Candy. It's awesome, dude. Like that's a
Okay.
great movie. It's worth it, dude. I would honestly like take a day and just sit down and just pull out some like John Hughes stuff and don't go for like the Ferris Bueller, the stuff
The big
everyone's
ones,
seen.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, go to like the Uncle Buck and stuff like this. That stuff's great, man. Yeah, no, I think those movies always kind of like take me back to that idea of kind of like, I don't know, the area. And obviously, Ferris Bueller, that's a huge one. Oh, and actually there's a 1980s movie called Lucas that had what's that guy in it? Had not the crazy Corey who's still alive. Who's the one who passed away? Corey, not Fellman. Corey Haim. Haim.
Oh,
Yeah,
Corey Haim.
yeah. Corey Haim and oh god, what's his name? Oh, come on, dude. I'm just sorry. For those of you who don't know, we both just woke up about an hour ago, so we're trying.
Yeah, about an
I'm a
hour
little
ago.
tired right now. I'm still drinking my coffee for God's sake. Uh, no, Corey Haim and God, what's that guy's name right now? It's slipping my mind. It's right into my tongue. Tiger Blood, dude. Uh, he
What's
has
the film
AIDS.
called?
I can't. I feel bad, dude. I'm like he has AIDS. Tiger Blood. Two and a Half Men guy. Why am I
Oh,
slipping on
Charlie
that?
Sheen.
Thank you. Yeah, it was Charlie Sheen and
You
Corey
said,
Haim.
AIDS and, Two and a Half Men, I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, Charlie
yeah, yeah.
Sheen."
And, but dude, that movie was actually filmed at my high school I went to.
Oh, really?
It's filmed,
Wow.
yes, filmed in Glen Ellen, Illinois, and it was filmed at Glenmard West. And you could see the downtown there and a bunch of stuff. I mean, literally, it's crazy. I'll watch it and be like, yeah, there's lockers, there's like everything. Also, oddly enough, that's a movie that they claim that he got raped on. So gross. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, of
that's
course, it's got to be that movie. But
yeah,
yeah, so that's another one that obviously reminds me of like my childhood because it's like
yeah.
literally my high school and
Your
stuff.
literal high school, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. Like honestly, so yeah, man, like I said, I mean, those are all movies that I always kind of think back to home and they'll kind of always be there. And I'm lucky too to live in an area in the suburbs of Chicago. There's so many movies set in this area.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
mention Chicago. It's like you have LA, New York, Chicago.
yeah,
Like,
oh
those
yeah,
are,
yeah,
like, the
dude.
3 places that really, like,
Yeah.
a lot of movies really like to take place in.
I mean, if I really want to get like all into it, I could be like Transformers. I mean, technically they're in Chicago, you know?
Dark Knight?
Yeah, dude, that was a good one, dude. I remember they were filming for that and actually saw like they were setting up the explosions in the buildings because
Yeah.
they were using these like they were pre-built buildings that like we were finishing. So I was a cement finisher at the time, and they were just kind of using the buildings that weren't done yet to like show the
Okay.
scenes of them blowing out glass and
Mm.
stuff because they didn't want to
Oh,
obviously use
okay.
real buildings. Yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a lot of cool
That's
stuff, man.
badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chicago has a lot of filming going on here in general. So to
Y
be fair,
yeah.
yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, like
Yeah.
here, like I'm in Houston. Probably the biggest movie we've had here was Urban Cowboy with John Travolta, and he worked in a refinery in
Yeah.
Pasadena, Texas. So yeah, that was probably the biggest movie we've ever had here in
Wow.
Houston.
Wow.
If we're going
That's
about
fun.
movies based in Texas, I mean, yeah, there's more Texas Chainsaw
Oh, there's tons of
Massacre,
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Days of
yeah. Yeah.
Confused, Paris, Texas. But yeah, I'm jealous. Like just I wish like you grew up in an area that like when you watch film or TV, it's like I recognize that place. I
Yeah,
recognize that place, or
it's
like that's my
cool.
literal high school. So
Yeah, it's cool to be able to
that's
like
awesome.
go
That's
to
awesome.
places and be like, like was it the Home Alone house? I believe is in Wakanda, oddly enough, forever.
Wakanda.
But yeah, we have a town here called Wakanda, and I believe that's where the house is from Home Alone. And they did a thing like a couple years ago where you could stay in the house. There's like an
Oh
Airbnb
yeah. Okay.
contest or something. Yeah, apparently the brother got arrested there. The actual brother from the film got
Huh.
arrested like that week where they're doing the contest, and
That's
he was
legit.
in, yeah, he was in the news. He probably, I think he got like arrested for like beating his girlfriend or something.
Oh,
So
that's not legit.
I'm being
No.
I'm being really serious, dude. It was in the news. I was like, what is wrong with these people? Like seriously, dude. You get famous for like one movie, and that's what ends up happening.
It's that Home Alone house. Yeah, just it does something. It just brings up the violence in people.
No, seriously. Oh, and actually, there was another thing with that too, with the Home Alone house, where it was in another movie, like because now I can't remember that at all. Now I just saw this the other day too, where like you could see from the window of the Home Alone house a certain garage. That same garage is in another movie they were showing, and yeah, so
Really?
I have to look that up. Yeah, but it was I was like, damn. So, but yeah, like I said, they use a lot of this area for all kinds of stuff, man. It's
Yeah,
yeah, and
definitely.
to be fair too, for TV as well. A lot of TV shows and stuff. I mean, I've done extra work on like Chicago
Oh
Fire,
yeah,
Chicago
you
PD.
mentioned
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
all the Chicago shows, all that
All the
stuff. So it's, yeah,
imagine filming Chicago shows like in LA, like in a
yeah.
lot in
Oh,
LA.
yeah, they do though. I mean,
Yeah.
The Bear's filmed here. I did some work on the Bear.
Love
I mean,
I
that's
love Oh, you did work on The Bear? I
yeah,
love The
no, it was
Bear.
yeah, it was that was fun, dude. That was like 4 or 5 days on set, and like, dude, honestly, the catering was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I love that's my whole thing. I love going. I love getting paid. I love being a part of it and all that. But the catering is awesome, dude. Breakfast, dude.
What show had the best catering?
Oh man. Oh well, to be fair, it's probably Chicago Fire. Believe it or not, actually the best catering, but they're all good. Like no, no, it's
No,
not
no,
like there's one
they
that's like,
don't
oh,
skimp
it's
out.
bad. But Chicago
Yeah,
Fire by far had like a slight upgrade because it's a much smaller set. I feel like, and
okay.
plus I was that day on Chicago Fire, I was a homeless guy, and there was only like 4 or 5 of us on set, and then the like two main actors. So there was like no one on set. So usually there's a bunch of people and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, dude, it was just us like all day, and it was great, man. I had like the PA coming up to me. They're like, "Hey, would you like some? We have some burgers from Snack Shack, and these are just breaks." They're like, just you're just sitting there like filming. They walk up and they call cut, and they be like, "Hey, would you like a burger? Want this? Want that?" And then, then they have obviously the crafty, which is like the craft cart. So you can walk up to it,
Yeah.
take whatever you want. But then they have the actual catering,
Yeah.
which is like now we're talking like for breakfast, they have like just a spread of everything you could think of.
Oh
Then, yeah,
gosh.
dude, I mean, breakfast burritos, sausages and gravy, like everything, dude, you could think of.
Sausages and gravy is
Health,
my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah, dude, healthy to bad. And then for wrap time, so for lunch, they were just giving us like, these, like I said, these burgers and stuff. It was really good. But then on wrap time came, so we go to the actual lot, and there, dude, I mean, they had like, dude, they had everything from like steaks to what was it? Fucking like just, I mean, dude, the spread was amazing. I mean, what was the one thing that I had that was really good? Oh, the tuna steaks. They had tuna steaks. They had like stir fry. They have like, I mean, every option you could think of, bro.
That's
Everything.
amazing.
Yeah, and actually, I was on Chicago Fire again, where I played I was like a featured extra. I was in this like chemical fire, and it was cool, man. Like dressed me all up and stuff, and put all the makeup on, and
Yeah.
that again, same thing, dude. The food was like over the top. I mean, but again, they're all like that. It's just theirs happens to just be like a notch higher because they offer so many things
Yeah.
that you're like kind of taken back by. You're like, wow, that's a lot of food.
You're
You're like,
on
it's a lot.
you're on set, they're like, "Alright, ready, roll the camera," and you in the background.
Yeah, seriously, yeah,
Just
I'm all like, they're like, we need you just two steps forward, one step back, point at the fire truck, that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, like my stomach's killing me, dude. I can't do this. Like,
I don't know what
no,
my
this,
stomach hurts, you just have
oh
5
yeah,
courses
yeah,
for
no,
breakfast.
and well, that's the cool part though about being in Chicago in this area is you have opportunities like this because if you're in LA, there's so many people trying to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many people trying to do these types of things that you're just not gonna you know what I mean? Like, you're just not going to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of course, here in Chicago, it's as easy as hit up a casting director or whatever, and you just they're looking for certain types of people, obviously, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and sometimes you have to audition in front of the director, and kind of like just show them, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what's up, this is what's I'm capable of. But in general, that's basically the idea of what you do. And I'll tell you what, man, like I said, I loved it. I'd like to do more of it. And actually, I was in a small little featured, like a little tiny film, like a 10-minute like horror movie thing I was a part of, called
Yeah.
My Precious Baby Boy. That was fun. I played a psychopath. That was super fun. That was actually like learning lines and having to like memorize everything, and it was really cool, man. I really enjoyed that a lot.
I
Um,
love that. That's nice.
yeah, the lady I worked with was really, really good. She was cool, man. I liked her. But yeah, man, like I said, I've been doing all that stuff for like a while, dude. And yeah, actually, you can't really see it too well, but like I'm gonna blow it. Well, you can't see anything because of my phone. That's right. Yeah, I got like I'll send. I'm gonna send some of these to you, dude, down the road. But
Yeah, yeah,
I got
definitely.
like actual like videos of me and stuff, like doing
I
some of
want to
this
see
stuff.
those. Definitely.
It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy, dude. Because I'm like, I mean, it's something cool to have like in the back and be like, yeah, I was on TV a couple times and stuff, and
That's
yeah,
badass.
it's not just doing the music thing when I was younger. So it's kind of like that, but and tying it into the TV and movie thing, which I again, it's cool to see how they do it.
Yes.
It's very similar to recording. Like in the music business, when you record, you do take after take after take after take. It's the same thing in TV and movie. It's
Yeah.
every take, and then all the different shots. You don't realize when you're watching a TV show or a movie, and you see someone like talking, and they're like, we're talking like right now, and then let's say it
Yeah.
cuts to like behind me, and it cuts over here, now they're looking this way and stuff. That's constant shots. So that's like, okay, I'd say all my
Really?
lines right now, like, okay, hey Chris, how you doing, blah 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 blah. Okay, cut. Okay, now I need you to do it from this angle. Hey Chris, how you doing, blah 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 blah. Okay, now I need you to do it from this angle. So every time you see that, they're redoing their lines every single
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of work, dude. It's not
It
easy.
is. It
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
I did that
And to
short
be
film.
consistent, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I did that short film, and it was like a lot of work, dude. I never realized how much was involved. I mean, when you're going through, they do. So when they do movies, they do the little clicker. You see the clicker thing. They'll
Yeah,
click.
yeah.
So they always go like, okay, scene one, whatever, A, and they use a letter. So like C1 A is for Apple. That way the editor knows when to edit. They know it's scene A, Apple. Okay, they would get to the point where they're on double letters. So they would go through the entire alphabet with scenes and then go, and now they're on scene BB. And
That's
that's the same
exhausting.
scene, though. You're not like, you have not moved on from what you're doing. So you're just sitting there doing the same thing over and over and over. It's kind of crazy, actually. Like, you don't realize that. And then you sit there and you watch a show or a movie and you're like, it's so
It's
fluid
like
and fast.
yeah.
It's crazy, bro. It is really kind of crazy. So
Well,
something for y'all to think about out there. Like
if
it's
there's any,
it's
casting directors looking for short, chunky Mexicanos, I'm right here, okay?
you'd be surprised actually. There's a lot of that. Well, because something someone taught me, and I stand by it, which is, when you think of actors and acting, like we always think of like our the Brad Pitts and like those kind of people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, they're so good looking and blah, blah. The reality is, watch real TV, watch some streaming shows and stuff. That's not who they're looking for.
It's real
That's not what they
people.
use. They use people like you and I. That's what they
Yeah,
want. They want someone
yeah.
who looks like us, who can act. I mean, that's what they're doing. Yeah, you're going to get the occasional like hot girl or hot guy, but really they want real looking people to do, acting. So it's, always
I
keep that
love
in the back
that.
of your head.
And it's the shift, definitely. It's obviously
Oh,
taken many years,
oh
but,
yeah,
like
God, yeah.
yeah, the call sheet would be the same type of person, pages 1 through 3, and then it would be, like, the short, chunky Mexican, and be like, and then I would come in. But
Yeah,
now I
you
think
come in and say
it's
something funny
evolving.
and leave. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
"Orale!" and leave,
Yeah,
and that's pretty
right.
much my line.
Seriously, it's so true. Well,
Yeah.
that's like for me, dude. I was looking for, I was like, okay, well, I look for a biker or look for a homeless guy
Yeah,
or look for
yeah.
that. But the reality is like, as you get better at acting, it's like, then yeah, you could push the limits. And I think nowadays it really has gone to that, because again, in the mid 90s, it was like, I mean, you could almost list, I think it was like in 1994 or five, like it was like Tom Hanks had like three movies out in the same year, or two
Yeah.
movies out in the same year. Brad Pitt had like, four movies out, Denzel had. So it really became like this thing of like, there was only so many actors and actresses
That
that were
were
being
working.
used.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I mean, like as far as bigger, and now, especially with streaming, I mean, there are so many
So much
opportunities.
out there. So many
Yeah, there's so much
opportunities.
stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Oh,
So oh, I'm sorry,
that
go
was
ahead.
my no, that was my thing. It just popped all crazy. I was like, whoa.
So all right. So I don't want to keep you here that much longer. I know you got a busy Saturday. Do you have a busy Saturday? I'm not doing
I
anything
mean,
today.
I'm probably gonna go to the gym. That's about it. Like,
Nice.
and
Respect.
watch some movies. I don't know. Go to the
Well,
gym, watch
I'm
some
gonna
movies.
watch the Royal Rumble tonight, WWE
Oh, is that
thing.
tonight?
So yeah, that's tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
Did you just hear about dude, Vince just got fired. Or not fired, but he got let go
Dude,
again.
uh,
Again.
I, yeah, right. Yesterday he resigned officially, so
That
I
was
don't know
it, yeah.
what that entails. But
Wow.
yeah, that's a whole mess over
He's
there.
so old too. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
No,
come on.
he was
He's like,
doing this stuff like 2021, and he was like 78, 77 doing this stuff.
I mean, yo, God bless him. I don't know, man. Depends what he was
Right.
doing. Depends. I was saying it depends what he was doing before anyone
Yeah,
goes out, but gets on me about that. So
yeah.
yeah.
But
But anyways,
we'll find out over time exactly
yeah,
what's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen.
But
All
enjoy
right.
that. Yeah,
So, Frank, all right, last question. This is probably
yeah.
my favorite one. Like I've said, like I've been on your channel where I give my top 5 recommendations for recent movies or
Hmm.
TV shows or whatever the hell that I'm watching at that time. So my question to you, it doesn't have to be five, it can be two, three, four, whatever. What are some like what do you recommend movies recently that you've watched that you're like, man, I watched this, go check that shit out.
Um. Oh man. Let me see. Well, okay. So, all right. I don't. I'm saying this. I'm not saying this is like the top thing, but I just
Oh yeah.
watched this like last. Actually, last weekend I think it was. I just watched or on Tuesday. I think it might have been. I watched this movie called Skyline. Now, storyline. I mean, it's okay. It's an alien thing, but the look of the movie great. The acting decent. Um, and apparently there's three of them. I don't know. I don't know how great. But again, the look of it was really good. Usually when you see a movie, I base movies off of a few things, and one of them is and I'm sure you'll understand because you watch so much TV and movies. Is like
Hmm.
you turn on a movie and it's like there's almost like there needs to be this filter on it. There's like this certain look to a movie, how it should be. That and the cinematography. Like what kind of shots are they using? What kind of angles are they using?
Yeah.
If you see something that looks kind of off, like it's almost like there's a difference between an asylum movie, if you know what I'm talking about. Like there's this company called Asylum. They're horrible. The movies are bad. They're almost known for being bad.
Okay.
And then there's those, and then there's like independent movies that look really good. So it's like you
Yeah.
kind of know right away when you turn on a movie, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a crap movie, versus a movie you're like, oh, this looks pretty good. Storyline's a little weak, but the work on it was great. So yeah, so Skyline is a good one to check out if you're
Okay.
like sci-fi. I recently watched War of the Worlds again. That one I would suggest checking out again. It's just I'm not a huge Tom Cruise guy, but it's a good movie. It's just a good
It's a great
sci-fi.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I like sci-fi movies, so that was a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, what's something else I watched recently, like movie wise? I never really watched the all the Harry Potter movies, and I recently watched like three of them, which that was kind of cool, to sit down and watch those again.
I've only
Also
seen the
too,
first one.
yeah, I watched like the first three. It was okay. I wasn't a huge fan.
I'm not a Harry Potter guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, the look of them again. The look,
Yeah,
the concept is
I
cool.
respect the look and, like, the
Yeah,
fandom, I respect the hell out of it,
yeah.
but, like, the actual stories, I'm sorry, I just get bored.
Yeah,
It's not
no, it
for
kind of
me,
I
it's
know,
not
and
for me.
the problem is too is I start picking it apart. Like I
Okay,
shouldn't,
yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, like if he's a wizard, he should be, like, what am I doing? Like, just enjoy what I'm watching, kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
God, something else. I would tell everyone to go check out Funny Farm again. Great movie.
Okay.
That's a top one, dude. You gotta check that out. And then, God, man, I haven't really been watching. I'll be honest with you. I've been watching the entire Fresh Off the Boat series on
I
from
love that
ABC.
series. I
Yeah,
love Fresh Off the
I
Boat.
I I watched it when it came out,
The
and then
mom,
for some
she's
reason,
gorgeous. The mom,
oh
she's
yeah, no, she is.
gorgeous.
I know, it's odd, yeah, but it's weird though because the last was it the last? Come on, dude, tired right now. Excuse me. The last season is not that good. It's weird. It's
I
almost like
didn't
they're
watch the last
acting.
season. I didn't really
It's
watch the tail end of that series.
Dude, it's weird. It's like their acting almost got bad. I don't know what happened because it's like the rest of the series is really well done. And something about the last like 5 or 6 episodes, you're like, I think they're just phoning it in. Like you
Yeah,
kind of
I
see
think
it that
I
they're
think
not.
definitely because they knew, like, I think they
It was
knew going into
ending.
the last season it was ending, and they were only gonna have
Yeah,
so much to
yeah.
do.
It was
They're
it
kinda
was
like,
weird, man. I didn't
yeah,
like.
but
Like I said, I watched
those
that.
first few seasons are amazing.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was like I said, I've been watching a lot of that, and then also, oh, you know what, too? I'm gonna mess this up, man. I know I'm not gonna pronounce it right. There's a cartoon I just started watching, and it's one series, or I'm sorry, one season, and it's hilarious, dude. Like it's called Car Carlopolis.
It's on
Yeah,
Amazon Prime?
this is on. Well, I saw it on Hulu.
Hulu,
And
okay.
it's like Krapopolis.
That
Uh
sounds so familiar, but
Dude,
yeah.
I've seen it a million times, and I was like, "Oh," and I finally turned it on. I was dying, dude. It's hilarious. It has like a lot of dude, like Matt Berry's in it, which I love. Matt Berry, he's from
Okay.
What We Do in the Shadows and stuff.
Yes,
He,
he's
he I
hilarious, dude.
I love that dude. He plays essentially the same type of character, just in like a cartoon form. So I love that dude. Duncan Trussell is in it or whatever. He's always on the Joe Rogan show and stuff.
Duncan Trussell. Oh,
He's
okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, dude. Hannah Wallenberg, whatever, the main lady from what's that show on Apple, the soccer show on Apple. What was that? Come on, dude. Can't think of the name of that thing now. Jesus, this is killing me, dude. Point is, there's a bunch of really good actors in this thing who do the
Okay.
voices. It's
On
great,
Hulu, you
dude.
said, right? On Hulu?
Yeah, yeah. Steve
Okay.
Buscemi's in it. David Cross, Joe McHale. I mean, there's a lot of dudes in here like that are like really good. So I've been watching that as well. I just wrapped that up, and
Is
that
that
was
the
really
is that the
really funny.
claymation one? Or looks kinda like
No, it's not
clay?
claymation. No, it takes place in like ancient Greece, and there's like the guy's trying to run like a civilization, and his
Oh,
dad's like
it's the Rick and Morty,
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's
spinoff.
right, Dan Hammond. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the dude.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good, man. Honestly, it's worth checking out. I think it's funny. And then yeah, but like I said with movies though, and I will say this, it doesn't hurt to, and especially if you're younger watching this, go back and watch like Breakfast Club. Go back and watch like Uncle Buck. Go back and watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It'll give you a different appreciation for the like older generation. You're going to see
Mhm.
like what they were raised with, and also, yeah, I'm sure some of it maybe is questionable now, but it's hilarious stuff, and it's funny, and
Yeah.
you have to be able to appreciate that. There is
It
a
was the
really funny skit.
times.
There is a really funny skit though on Family Guy where he's talking about how he wants everything to be like a John Hughes movie, and then like they're giving him crap. Do you ever see that one? And
Yeah.
they're like, dude, you realize like it was not cool, like the stuff they were
Yeah,
doing. He's like,
the
what are you
shit they were
talking about?
doing was not
Yeah, he's like,
nice.
"What are you talking about?" It was great. Yeah. So, but yeah, I suggest going back and seeing those. And
Yeah.
obviously, we didn't mention this, but Ghostbusters, another great franchise, man. That
Yeah.
again, if you have not partaked in, or maybe you only saw like the new one or the other one from a few years
2016
ago.
one.
Yeah, I don't
2016 one.
really talk about that, but
Yeah.
I would totally suggest doing that because I know the new one's coming out soon. But yeah, you know those are great movies to go check out, and I think people, again, and again, if you, I think about this too. Um, if you look at an actor, right, 90% of the actors out there who are bigger. So basically, you're who is it? Like Matthew McConaughey, like
Leo
you just
DiCaprio's.
right those kind of guys, right? Go back in their career. Go back and
Yes.
find, because you will find a point where all of a sudden it goes from like what you know them as to
Yeah.
like most of those guys were featured in horror movies. Like Paul Rudd's first movie was a horror movie. Oh god, what's up?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, so Matthew McConaughey, the other day we watched his
Yeah,
Texas
yeah,
Chainsaw
yeah,
Massacre movie.
yeah, dude,
He's
yeah,
That's a bad movie.
dude.
He's
It's
great
like
in it.
yeah, no, it's like he's like really like oddly weird and terrifying and just odd, and it's
Super
like
unhinged.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what it is. Yeah, he's very unhinged, and it's very interesting, and it's just like, but again. go back. I mean, like we're saying, like Tom Hanks, go back and find, because again, there's a point where you might know him just as Forrest Gump or whatever. There were movies before that were funny, that were actually
Mhm.
like comedies, and so that's what I mean. Like, go back and find those because you'd be shocked. I mean, dude, George Clooney's first movie was Attack of the Killer Tomatoes Part Two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny.
George
Like, go
Clooney's had
back
a
and
weird career.
that's what I mean, though, and it's like go back and find those, and I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at how a lot of these actors, how we view them, and then you go back and see, and you're like, oh wow, this is crazy. Like, okay, I
Everyone
didn't
has a
even.
beginning. Everyone
Yeah,
has a
they're fun,
beginning,
dude.
yeah.
So that's what I say. Go back and follow a chain of command. You go back
Yeah,
until you hit the patient zero, so to speak. So, but yeah, that's my take on movies. I don't
okay.
know.
So something that I would recommend to you, have you seen the Ted series?
Like the
The Ted
cartoon.
No, so Ted, like the Seth MacFarlane Ted
Oh,
Bear?
yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean cartoon. I mean the teddy bear. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
meant.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
bear. So have you heard about the series or at
I didn't know
all?
it was a series. No.
So it came out, I think, like a couple of weeks ago, the series. It's on Peacock. I'm not shitting you, Frank. It's the first show I've laughed out loud
Oh
and God
God.
knows how long.
Okay,
It
that's fair.
is it's raunchy,
Nice.
it's at times racist, sexist, but at the same
Yeah.
time, there's a character, her thing is she's like in the 90s, she's like, "What are you doing? You can't be racist." So she balances it out as well. But I
Mhm.
think Ted, it's sort of okay. So it's kind of like the way comedy's gone, like at least like TV and movies, or yeah, it's very PC. Like you have to
Yeah.
be
Oh yeah.
po-
No, the way things have gotten.
politically
Yeah.
correct. Like we're past the age of Super Bad and Step
Mhm.
Brothers and Old School and all that stuff. And I think Ted kind of takes it back to that. It's like, we're not going to filter ourselves. We're going to say what we're going to say, but at the same time, it's gonna be respectful at times. So the
We're
Ted
gonna have
series,
it. It
I
could, it could
highly
still have a.
recommend.
It could still have a message. Just because of being
Definitely,
like I guess grotesque at times, it doesn't mean it can't have a message behind it. I mean, I think. And real quick, I did want to touch on that. Where I was talking about the '90s and kind of that thing. I did notice, like when I was younger, dude. Like there was so many well, for lack of better words, like black entertainment on TV, and it was
hmm
very common. And I think that's a weird thing because now, not now per se, but I think a few years ago, there was this whole thing of like, oh, they're not being represented, and racism and all stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man, because like for people in my generation, it's like, yeah, but we grew up watching like these shows that like watching. I used to watch Martin at night. I used to watch, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like these were like,
yeah,
these were shows like, in living color and stuff like that. Kind of, I don't know. It's just, it was part of the culture. And I feel like we as a people didn't separate that. It was the entertainment world decided to separate that. Like they
I
did it
hear
on
you.
purpose almost, where it was like, well, we're going to make this for that and then this for that, to where before it was more unified and pushed together. And it is
Yeah,
something I definitely notice in entertainment, because I know now everything's, they're like, Star Wars is being ruined and, woke this and woke that and all that stuff. And yeah, but at the same token, it's like, dude, it used to not be like that. It used to just be like, well, if it's good, it's good. And we used to like, that's how we used to judge things. And we thought if something was funny, it was funny, kind of thing. And yeah, like comedy was comedy. And now everything is just so like, like it's like the thing. It's like you're gonna piss off someone. So, but
yeah,
it used to not be like that. It used to just be like, dude, people enjoyed it. I never heard about like, and I'm
yeah.
sure it was there, but like when I was growing up, dude, there wasn't like,
There
oh,
was like
people
no
are
social
upset.
media and things like
Yeah,
that.
people were
Yeah,
like, yeah, like people were upset because whoever's on TV right now or whatever. No one cared, dude. It wasn't a thing. It was like if it was funny, it was funny.
or like
We liked it.
Sigourney Weaver is beating up aliens. Like no one
Yeah,
cared. Like they should thought they were badass. Yeah,
right, right, right. No one was like, "Oh, dude, like, a woman can't do that. That's woke or whatever." No, it was good. It was a good movie.
yeah,
Some people, unfortunately, people can't handle the fact of something just sucking. It's like if a movie or a
mhm,
TV show sucks, it sucks. And I'm sorry if it falls either way. If it's if it's an all woman cast, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's not whatever, but but sometimes movies just suck, and that's just what it is. But again, I'll tell you this. They talk about, yeah, was it black actors not getting roles and stuff. I'm sorry, dude. Last time I checked, like Independence Day was one of the biggest movies ever. Pretty sure that was a black lead in the movie.
Mhm.
I go down the list of Denzel Washington movies that were huge. I mean, these it's so I think there's this whole thing where they try to like separate us now, but it's like, dude, movies and culture. If you go back and watch those movies and stuff, you'll realize like maybe we're not all that different. There's ties there. Like we're all kind of like part of this thing. And nowadays, because of streaming and stuff, I think it's very much like social media, where it's just like,
Yeah.
here you get your echo chamber. Because what do? They go, well, here's stuff you might like, and they run that across your screen of like, here's movies and stuff you might like. Well, then you don't
Yeah.
really get a chance to see a bunch of other stuff, like because you're too busy like going through your like I might like this, I might like that kind of thing, and you end up in an echo chamber, and that's the whole
Yeah.
thing. So we're like back when network TV was happening and the movies would come out, it was more like an hey, here you go guys, check it out, and we would all watch it, and it would live or die on us liking it or not liking
Yeah.
it. And now it's just all like a giant up. Just everyone's just like kind of flapping their own gums on these shows and stuff. So that's the one thing I do not like about entertainment now is it's just like a total echo chamber of kind of like, here's what you like, and so we're going to suggest you this. And even if you go on your Hulu or whatever, and let's say you see something and you go, oh yeah, maybe I'll watch that another day, and you go back, dude, good luck finding it again if you didn't click on it and stuff.
Or
It's
add it to my list or anything like
Yeah,
that.
you have
Yeah.
to add it or something. Otherwise, dude, you'll never find it again. And God forbid if you remember what it was or anything, because that's the
Yeah.
one thing I always have a hard time with. So, yeah, I will say that. Like, I think, people need to start giving people a chance. Like, honestly, I'll be honest with you. Like, my old lady started watching Empire. I thought it was crap. I was like, oh my God, how you watching this show? Like, about the rap label and guys like
Mhm.
shooting each other. It's like craziness, right? But then by the end, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so Cookie is with Lucius, but Lucius isn't with Cookie, and his son has cancer, but then he got a new heart from this guy, and now he's schizophrenic, but and now you're kind of like, it's like
Yeah.
I don't care, but now I'm wrapped into it, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's
I
like,
hear you.
and it's a show I never would have been like, I would never would have, I would have been like, I'm not watching this crap. What is this? And I'm sitting there like, I'm kind of like, damn it, now I'm watching this, kind of thing. So it's like,
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
people need to give shows a chance and movies a chance and just see if they like it or not. I think it's important to
And I
do.
think that's all
But
the creators asking for, just a chance. Just
yeah,
just check us out. If you don't like us, then okay, you don't like us. But
yeah,
you can't judge a book by its cover. So
no,
yeah,
you really can't unless
yeah.
it's a really bad cover.
Unless it's a horrible cover,
It's
then
just
you're like,
really
I
bad
know I'm
cover.
not gonna like that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, like the Marvels? No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so I guess yeah, I appreciate you giving me the time to
Yeah,
discuss
dude,
these
it was
movies and
fun.
these TV shows because
Yeah,
like I mentioned at the beginning, it's just like whenever we discuss this, I got excited because I've been doing this YouTube since 2021 and we're in 2024.
yeah,
I've never done an interview. I've never done a collab video on our channel. So
yeah, dude.
thank you, Frank.
No, dude, honestly, I appreciate it because, like I said, I've been this past month I've been really busy just doing working. Honestly, I've been really busy and I've had to stop kind of doing my live streams and my regular stuff right now. And we'll be like I was telling you, we'll be picking that up here shortly. I'm
Yeah,
gonna figure out a
definitely. Yeah,
schedule. Might have to move it to like a Sunday kind of thing just to be able to do
whatever
it.
works. Whatever
Um,
works. Yeah.
yeah, I want to be able to do something like that. And then obviously I'm doing like some vlogs and stuff and all that. But I'm in the same boat, dude. I started doing this in 20 it was like October, not this last October, but the October before then is when
2022.
yeah, that's when I
Yeah,
started posting. And I've been short lucky. I got my shorts and that's been helping me a lot.
I
And then
respect it. Yeah, I like that.
I
Yeah.
really, and honestly too, I've been kind of now I'm starting to like kind of curve into other things where it's just like doing little like rants and funny stuff and whatever, and then my vlogs, and because I really want to I realized that the idea of YouTube is, yeah, you sit there and like at first I was like, oh my, just toys. This is my thing. I'm gonna do toys, toys, toys,
Yeah,
and that's cool. But really, if you want to get somewhere, people need to know who you are,
as a
right? Who are
person, your
you? Yeah, who
thoughts.
are you? What do you
Yeah,
do? And so I think it's important to do, man. It's like I saw, your brother did your Funko Pop video.
yeah,
That came on while I was at work and stuff. So it's good to have like diversity in what you're doing because your brand isn't like your brand isn't you being like, oh, I like, like obviously, you like TVs and movies. Okay, but your brand isn't TVs and movies. Your brand is Chris. Your brand
Yeah.
is Ralph. That's your
Yeah.
brand.
Mhm.
And so I started thinking about like that, and I think it's really been helping me move forward. And I really want the people on my channel to know, like, hey, who I am. This is how I actually think. This is what's up. This is why I
Yeah.
post the shorts I post because
Yeah.
I think it's funny or stupid or whatever. So I think it's important though. So yeah, I do
Definitely.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate us teaming up. We've been doing the live streams together and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
it's cool. And
I
and I
can't wait
saw
to get back on those.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, we're gonna get that going. And I also saw you're doing X-Fon 82's show coming up, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah, in
Nice.
March. Yeah.
Nice.
He reached out. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do a video?" I was like, 100% yes, I want to do a video."
Not saying I set that up, but I set that up. I
Oh,
hit him
thank
up.
you,
I hit
Frank.
him
I
up, and I was like,
appreciate
"Hey,
that.
dude, you should like Chris." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, man." He's like, "I'll hit him up."
Thank you. I respect that. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's what I'm doing here. And even though I think you eat chili like a moron, it's okay. So,
We Let's not start a civil war again. Okay?
like
Yeah.
we sit here having issues. You're like, hold on that. Bye. Like so. Yeah,
All
but
right,
thanks for
Frank.
having me on,
Well,
dude.
no, of
So
course, yeah. Where can the people find you? I see you have your IG handle. Where else can they
yes,
find you?
yeah. So Frank's BS on YouTube, Frank's BS one on Instagram. If you do Frank's BS, it's just bath salts, which it is a guy who sells bath salts out of Florida. But so
Respect.
Frank's BS one, it's a real story. Frank's BS one on Instagram and Frank's BS on YouTube. And yeah, check me out. I usually do like 1 to 2 shorts a day, and then I do my vlogs. I'm going to be restarting up You Collect What with SFON82. And then obviously we'll be doing the Frank's Weekly BS, which is more like a bi weekly. And actually, I was thinking about maybe just making it like Frank's Monthly BS. And this way I don't have to be so pressured with work. And we could do like
Yeah.
once a month kind of show for a few hours and just
Yeah,
get that on
definitely.
there. Yeah. So, and obviously that has Chris on it doing his top five. S182 does his comic corner, and then we do a plethora of crazy stuff, internet stories, weird stuff. So yeah, oh yeah, check me out on
Yeah,
there,
guys,
please, by all means.
definitely go subscribe, y'all. He has great content. His shorts are amazing. He's doing a vlog, and you want to see his Funko hunting, and like he
Oh
mentioned, the Chicago area, you go
yeah,
check out Frank's BS.
tons of stuff.
Um, definitely, guys. All right, guys. So I appreciate y'all watching this. We're an hour and 7 minutes in. If you're still
Woo!
watching, then you're a real one. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, I'm Chris. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.